Hey everybody out there on YouTube. It's Natalie. I'm coming back to you guys. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my pre-operative diet. So I'm having vertical sleeve gastrectomy, VSG surgery in Mexico, and in 3 days. Crazy. And so for the past couple of months now, I've been on what I would call a pre-operative diet. The official diet that my doctor gave me to follow didn't start until about a month before surgery. And so I started out way back for Lent, actually. I gave up all fast food. That was really helpful because I was just eating way too much fast food. Way too much. And so I call that my official start of my preoperative diet because that's when I really started trying to change things to help specifically for this surgery. And so for all of Lent, and even now, I haven't really had any fast food. I was really good throughout Lent, didn't have any. Since then, I've had like, one or two times, but not a lot, of some fast food things like Sonic or something like that. But around that time, around Easter, I also switched up and started using smaller plates to eat off of. And so I have an example. I originally was eating off of full, large dinner plate, and there's a dip here, but I'd still have a full plate of food. And I switched up and started using the saucer plates that come in my set. And just so you can see how the difference in size, much smaller. Around about Easter time, I switched up and I stopped using my large plates. I only use the smaller plates, which forces me to eat and consume smaller portions. For lunch, I was also taking home-cooked meals in smaller Tupperware type containers, and so everything was a lot more regulated. I didn't give myself the option to overeat anymore. That was just completely off the table. I had to stick to a smaller portion. With the smaller plates, I ended up switching. Instead of having a large chicken breast, so the whole chicken breast, I was cutting that in half because the whole chicken breast plus vegetables or sides won't fit on the plate. So it's given me a chance to continuously train myself to think smaller and into smaller portions. I also started measuring out any type of condiment that I was using, because if you look at the packaging, it usually tells you 1 or 2 teaspoons or a tablespoon is a serving size, and that's really all you need for most things. And so instead of just dumping on salad dressing, I started actually measuring it out so that I could be better about the calorie intake. I also started really increasing my water. I have a 40-ounce water bottle, Cognito water bottle, and I've been really good about finishing 2 of these a day, and that was a huge challenge for me because I've always drank water, but this was really helpful to get through and keep track. It has all the different ounces here just to keep track of how much water I was actually getting in, and so that was huge. And then I'd say about 2 months before surgery, I really started introducing more liquids into my diet, or liquid meal replacements, I should say. And so the official pre-op diet that my doctor gives, and most doctors give, does have a few week or 1 week, depending on your BMI, phase of only liquids before surgery. And so my doctor had recommended a month before to do 2 protein shakes a day and then a meal at night, and then 10 days before to do all liquids and then clear liquids. And so I wanted to start as early as possible with that so that I could start kind of training my body into it. And so I did a variety of things for the month before my official pre-op diet was supposed to start. I started having protein shakes for breakfast or lunch. I also started eliminating meat from my diet occasionally. And so instead of having a chicken breast, I would have just vegetables with a protein shake kind of thing for dinner, just to kind of introduce it more and more into my diet. And for a protein shake, I used Premier Protein. They have the individual bottles that are like 12 ounces or something like that that you can carry around with you, which is super convenient. But I also just got some regular protein. There was a coupon in the Sunday paper a couple of weeks ago. This is Walmart brand protein powder. It's 25 grams of protein, 160 calories, and only 2 grams of sugar. I had both the vanilla and the chocolate, and so I've been using this occasionally. I also started introducing more Gene Pro into my diet. Gene Pro is really great. It's medical grade protein. You can get this online, or you can also get it at GNC. It's only 58 calories, and there's 30 grams of protein in here. And so I occasionally would mix this with 1 scoop of this with Crystal Light, or I'd occasionally just add a scoop of this into like a soup or something like that I was making to up the protein content, but without drastically adding more calories into my diet. And then once I started the official pre-op diet, where I was going this past month that I've been on the real official pre-operative diet that the doctor says I had to follow. I was doing 2 protein shakes a day, as much water in as I could get in, and 1 meal at night. And for meals, I started trying to do as many liquid type meals as I could. So that was soup. And so Progresso soups are awesome. This 1 can does have about 2 servings, but 1 serving is only 80 calories for this particular soup. Each soup has slightly different calories. They're usually about 100 calories per serving. And so I ate this instead of regular dinner at night, and it was, the whole point of me doing that was just to try and train my mind and my body to be okay with liquids. And coming off of, we all have food addictions, that's why we're doing this surgery. It's not because we've mastered the art of eating smaller portions or anything like that. If we had them, we wouldn't have a need for this surgery. And so I knew that mentally it was going to be a huge hurdle to overcome, to do a liquid diet for 10 days. So difficult. But I wanted to do the best that I could, give myself a chance to accidentally slip up and just get my body more acclimated to an all liquid diet for such a long period of time. Because after surgery, it's nothing but liquids for a few weeks until you can move on to pureed foods and then eventually on to solid foods again. So the liquid phase is really probably a 2-month long ordeal, because you have to do liquids before surgery and then liquids after surgery. And so to help me with that, I just tried to start as soon as possible to kind of ease my way into it. Now that I'm officially, for the past 10 days, like 8 days actually now, I've been on only liquids. And for the past week, clear liquids. And so clear liquids are things like that you can see through. So you can see through a clear Gatorade, you can see through water, you can see through like chicken broth, and you can see through just regular water. You can also have Jello on that diet. And so that's pretty much what I've been eating for the past couple of days. Is if you really call it eating, it's mostly drinking. Been trying to drink as much water as I can get in a day. I've also been mixing bouillon with warm water and making something like a chicken soup, essentially. I've also had the broth off of other foods that I've cooked for my husband. So like I made cabbage the other day, and I siphoned off all the liquid off of the cabbage and had that because it's clear and I could see through it, and it was just a different flavor that was really tasty, and that really helped out. The whole pre-op liquid diet is probably the most daunting part of this whole surgery thus far. It's a true obstacle to overcome, and a lot of people struggle with it. I think that I'm not struggling as bad with it because I feel like all that tapering down that I was doing over the past couple of months helped to prepare my body so that it wasn't a huge major shock. Because I couldn't imagine going from eating a large dinner plate of food to all of a sudden having to do straight liquids. I think I would probably have gone insane if I had to go like night and day like that. Since I've been on the just liquid diets, the hunger pains or just being hungry hasn't really been too much of an issue. I've been able to drink enough water. I have enough fluids coming in. The times when I felt really, really hungry, I just had some Jell-O, and that was able to calm my stomach down enough. I also found some activities to do, and so I have coloring pencils and a coloring book, and so at night, instead of trying to sit there and snack when you're trying to, watch your evening TV programs or whatever, I was coloring, something for my hands to do, and I found that I wasn't so much hungry as my brain was telling me, oh, well, it's time, you haven't eaten yet, it's time there, and my body wasn't needing the food, I was mentally wanting it, and so that's been a bit of an ordeal to overcome, but I think so far, it really hasn't been that bad. It honestly hasn't been that bad. I think that one of the harder parts is that being on only liquids does mean that you don't have as much calories coming in, and so it has been a little bit more difficult to go through everyday life and have as much energy. I find that the first couple of days especially, I had headache, and I was just in general just kind of tired because I wasn't bringing in as much calories as I had previously. But after a couple of days, it all kind of evened out once I started drinking some more of the bouillon, because it has a little bit more salt, so I got a little bit more electrolytes and more energy coming into my body. I felt a lot better, and now I only have 3 days to go. It's Friday and surgery's on Monday, so now it's a cakewalk now, I suppose. It's just a matter of continue to drink my water, stay on the clear liquids, and I'll be home run in no time. So the whole point of this video was just to talk about what all I've done for this liquid diet, so I hope that maybe this helps some of you all have some ideas. There's lots of other YouTube videos out there with people talking about all the different things that they've made. You can purchase Jell-O, you can make Jell-O. There's different types of bouillons that you can get. They have all kinds of different flavors. The only thing that I guess I really wish I would have had that I didn't have for this surgery, which I don't think that anybody even makes it, is a savory flavor for protein shakes. I don't understand why every single protein product, so like every single protein product is either a sweet flavor, like vanilla, chocolate, whatever, or they are a non-flavored, like the Gene Pro. It's no flavor at all. There are no savory flavors. I think I would be so happy if they had a chicken flavor or a macaroni and cheese flavor of a protein shake instead of just sweets. Because even before, all the time before surgery, I have never been a super huge sweets eater. I like cake and cookies and things like that, but I prefer savory flavors to sugary flavors. And so I really got burnt out pretty fast on the protein shakes and like the Premier and things like that, because everything is a sweet flavor. And they weren't too sweet, I just got tired of having sweets. I wanted to eat a chicken wing or something like that. I didn't want to eat vanilla or chocolate flavored stuff. So if there's anybody out there who has the ability to make a savory flavored protein shake, please do, because we need it. But that was all I had to really say today. I just want to talk about this liquid diet. I hope that this information helps some of you all out there. If you have any questions, leave a comment and I will definitely respond. So have a good day.